Just a little longer, I think. So let's do number 5. Let's do secant x tangent x. So we need to switch both because neither of them are in sine and cosine, right? So we switch both. So secant is 1 over cosine. And tangent, again, you don't want to go to cotangent, you want to go to sine and cosine. So and what do we do, guys, when we have this setup? Hamburger, okay? Very top times the very bottom. Multiply, so 1 times cosine is cosine x. And then you multiply the middle ones. The multiplier of the middle ones goes to the bottom, right? Now, what is cosine x times sine x? Cosine x times sine x. They don't mix. They're different. So you just put them next to each other. Okay. Cosine and cosine would cancel. Now I'm glad I came across this problem because I remember from experience, a lot of students when they do this problem, they put this as their answer. And that's wrong. Okay? 1 over, this sign's in the bottom, right? So you have to make sure you say it's in the bottom. If you just write sine x, you're saying it's in the top. Oh, and then we can actually fix that, right? What's 1 over sine? Not cosine, but yeah, cosecant. So cosecant x. Okay, so simplifying, we went from this to that. Simplifying. Okay, let me let you try one of those. 6 cosine theta over secant theta. Okay, try one of these. That cosine on the top, in order to do the hamburger, you're going to have to put it over 1. Because fraction has to be over a fraction. You're welcome. Okay, so cosine theta over 1 over 1 over cosine theta. Guys, on these, right? What's throwing you off on that one, Abby? The top one. It's because of what happens. So before, let me erase that. I just skipped a step. I'm sorry. So that's what it would be, because you want to leave cosine as cosine, right? But the problem here is that I can't do the hamburger, because I don't have enough, right? I need top and bottom and middle. So that's why I have to put this cosine over 1. Does that make sense? So that I can do the hamburger. Now, when you're writing these hamburgers, make sure you put the middle longer than the other two, because that's how you separate the fraction from the fraction to make a giant fraction. Don't make them all the same length, because then you'll get mixed up, okay? So now a hamburger. What do you guys, we haven't done this yet, but what do you think cosine times cosine will be? You probably know, I hear it, right? What's x times x? X squared. So cosine times cosine is cosine squared. Okay, so those go to the top. That's how you write squared on cosine. You just put it right there like that. Okay. And then 1 times 1 is just 1. So anything over 1 is just the same thing. So cosine squared x. Not too bad, right, guys? All right, let's try one with more stuff. 7 sine x. Nope, sorry, not sine. I looked at the wrong one. Cosine theta, cosecant theta, cotangent theta. Okay, so again, your eyes should be drawn to which two should you switch? That's where your eyes should be drawn to. Okay, you want to leave cosine and sine alone. So just those two, and we switch them to sine and cosine. Okay, so cosine stays the same. Cosecant can switch to 1 over sine. And then cotangent can switch not to this one, right? Well, we'll need them eventually, but usually you're going to use the sine and the cosine one. So cosine theta over sine theta. Okay, is everybody okay with this first move? Okay, so here, what do you do next? Okay, you mess with the part that has the most things. So right now, the top, we need to fix the top first. Okay, I can't do hamburger here. I gotta simplify the top. So this is really over 1. Remember, fractions like fractions. Okay, and when you multiply fractions, you just multiply them straight across. So cosine times 1 is just cosine. 1 times sine is just sine. That's the top, the numerator. And then big line, okay, because you're separating the fraction from the other fraction. Cosine theta, sine theta. Now this is when your hamburger. Okay, when you get it squished at the top, squished at the bottom. So I'm going to hamburger this out. So sine and cosine, they don't mix, oil and water, they just stay next to each other. So sine theta, cosine theta. And then same thing in the middle. They don't become square because they're not the same. They have to be the same to become a square. So sine theta, cosine theta. Or even if the order was different, it doesn't matter. Like this could say cosine theta, sine theta, for example. It's the same thing. What's my answer to that? What happens? Yeah, 1, right? Cosine, cosine, sine, sine. Same stuff on top, same stuff on bottom. So 1. Is that all right, guys? For 5.1, which is what we're doing, that's as hard as they get. Okay, so let me let you try one of those. Before we switch over to the next kind, sine theta, cosecant theta, cotangent theta. Okay, I'll give you a little time. Okay, 2 minutes. Try, see how far you can take this down. Squish, squish, squish as much as you can. Okay, most of you are kind of at a stopping point, so let's see. You want to leave sine theta alone, okay? Cosecant, you do want to switch to 1 over sine theta. Right, you try to switch everything to sine and cosine. Cotangent switches to cosine and sine. Okay, so that's the first setup. On the top, fractions like fractions, so you put that over 1. Right? You can go ahead and multiply, and you'd get sine over sine, which is really just 1. Okay, and so you just have a 1 on top. Now, think of this again as a path to Walmart. There's different ways to get there. Okay, this is like one way. Some of you might have left it as sine and did the hamburger. It would still it should simplify the same. Okay, cosine theta, sine theta, hamburger. Which I think this is what when I was walking around this way, you saw a lot of you didn't cancel the sine. So I'll go ahead and do it like that to show you that it still works, okay? But here what would happen would be you would get sine on the top, cosine on the bottom with the hamburger, right? And that's just tangent theta. Okay, now a lot of you didn't cancel your sine, so let me show you how it looks that way. So if you left this as sine theta, and you left this as sine theta, and then you guys, I saw you write sine squared theta, right, over, what was it, sine cosine on the bottom? Right, that's when I was walking around, I saw a lot of you do that. Okay, so here's what happens. You remember, squared is 2 of them, right, 2 of them. So this one cancels with 1 of the 2, which leaves you just 1 on top, which is the same thing as mine, sine over cosine. So it's still the same thing. Okay? Either cancel up here or cancel down here, but you'll still get the same answer. Is that all right, guys? Okay, question. Okay, second part of the notes. Okay, so